Good evening. It's August 11th, 2010. Joe Walmart of FUBAReditorials, bringing you editorial number 5. Recall in editorial number 4, I introduced the FUBAR BS Award, and I was thinking, I thought I had the first recipient of it, and I did waffle a bit. That's why it's taken me a bit of time to get back to you, but I have made my decision for the inaugural award. The area of interest for this editorial is the implosion of the financial management system that started on Wall Street and literally affected the global economic system and continues to affect that our whole socio-economic framework. The cause of that implosion was essentially we were part of it. While it was investment bankers on Wall Street that acted both unscrupulously and both and unethically to exploit or creatively interpret rules and or lack of regulations that existed. And they really don't invest. They really play the market. And the fallout of that was people such as you and I. But the real cause of that, and this is the underpinning theme of the FUBAR editorials, was started a long time ago, back in the late 70s, by an economic framework of laissez-faire. Let the markets behave without much regulations, because they will regulate themselves. Some crap that economists still believe to this day. I could tell you that as an engineer, this type of economic thinking is stupid and ignorant. One of the people who really fueled that libertarian way of thinking was a guy by the name of Greenspan, who promoted free capitalism, free markets, believing that the markets, again, will always correct themselves. Well, if they do, there's tremendous collapse. That's like saying an engineer is going to ignore certain bits of scientific knowledge and hope that things will correct themselves through redundancy and other things. Total fallacy. We listened to Greenspan and as if he was a demigod. The way the journalists hyped him up and his big ego, he loved it. And he made no apologies for his views until one admission during the Senate committees to investigate what happened. And even then, great reluctance to admit that he had it wrong. So here was this great person who everyone listened to, and I used to chuckle when he was when people would refer to him as the great oracle. I used to laugh and say, boy, these economists are pretty stupid, you know, if they think that one guy can really have that much influence. Well, it looks like he did enough to set the stage for this damage. Now, here's why I had difficulty in awarding the first FUBAR award. I wasn't quite sure if Greenspan should get it. He seems to be an obvious case, but what really ticked me off was back on August the 1st on CBS, Meet the Press, Dick Gregory had Greenspan on and was interviewing him as he still was a person of credibility. I was just flabbergasted. I just didn't know if I should just, I just scratched my head and I said, this guy's a joke. And you still continue to interview him as if he's got credibility? Forget it. He's an old man. Let him take some baths. We don't need to hear from him again. He's the cause of our problem. He's not our solution. So again, what we need here is some systematic thinking. Albert Einstein had a nice quote about this. He said, if I'm just reading here, the thinking process used to get us into a situation cannot be the same process we use to get us out of that situation. We don't need to hear from Alan Greenspan. He's a has-been, caused a lot of problems. And I also want to read to you something that I saw on the website, and I'm going to read it because it's on my computer here. It's about some hedge fund information. And this is from the Hedge Fund Center. And they essentially closed down on April the 15th, 2009. They were an education center, trying to inform people as to what hedge funds and so forth are all about. Here was their sign-off, April 15th, 2009. We are done. Hedge Fund Center has been online since 1996. Since then, we have done a lot to educate our audience about hedge funds, how they operate, and how to evaluate them. However, since the massive bank failures, Ponzi schemes, including Madoff and others, it has become apparent to us that the industry is in need of so much more than we are able to offer. In our view, the financial industry has completely imploded and lost all credibility. The fact that President Obama has chosen Wall Street alumni to staff his cabinet and appointed positions could be laughable if they were not so pathetic. Please don't contact us. We are no longer listening. We've got to stop listening to economists and people who have ideas such as Alan Greenspan. And again, while the journalists are quite to blame for this, and Dick Gregory, having him on was a real concern, but I did decide that the FUBAReditorial Award inaugurally should go to Alan Greenspan. So here it is to you, sir. See you next time for editorial number 6.